दो ही जात हिंदुस्तान में आज है, एक पैसे वालों की जात है और एक जिनके पास पैसा नहीं उनकी जात है। तो दोस्त दर्द तो हर जगह है और इस सच्चाई को भी मान लेना होगा। आई हैव कंटेस्टेड लोकसभा इलेक्शंस प्योरली बिकॉज आई वांटेड द जॉब ऑफ एन मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट। एन एक्टर इज एन एक्टर, एन एक्टर विल बी ऑफर्ड डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ रोल्स एंड मिस्टर बच्चन हैज द वर्सेटिलिटी। Ajay seldom sees the films that he has done. I mean, he hasn't probably seen Apharan or he hasn't probably seen Hungama as well. But how will Saif play a Dalit? Somehow or the other, I felt that he has the conviction. Pleasure interacting with Bollywood Hungama.
In a film industry that has a high emphasis on formula and commercial stuff, we have a filmmaker who's making meaningful cinema. At the same time, they are commercially viable as well. Prakash Jha, wonderful to have you on Bollywood Hungama, first of all.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure interacting with Bollywood Hungama.
Aarakshan, that's your next film coming up. The promo, I think, is volcanic. Turns out to be, I think you're saying controversial things up front. I think from start to finish, it is there. What sort of responses have you been getting? And what exactly are you trying to say through the film?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the grand launching of the first look. Bollywood Hungama is one platform we always take pleasure in getting associated with. Reaction to the first look promo has been phenomenal.
Right.
Phenomenal is really the word. I am now only hoping, and although I'm quite confident that the film will live up to its expectation. What we are trying to say through this film is not really, we are not really analyzing the validity of reservation or the criteria through which a society should have reservation as far as opportunities are concerned. Today's India is a phenomenally growing society, but its growth is unfortunately getting limited to kind of like, one section of the society, which is part of the society which has money.
The elite.
Because everything has become so commercialized.
If you are having an OBC certificate, that's quite easy for you in most circumstances these days.
They have a reserved quota, and the reservation is for the OBCs, for the SC, and for the ST.
Right.
It all add up to what, 49.5%, which has, of course, created a lot of pain amongst children who actually are not kind of like even aware about the caste-based society, and they suddenly find that their numbers, their opportunities have been reduced. So as the pain of these students, these kind of like future seekers as I call them, along with that is the pain of a large section of society which has been subjugated purely on the base of caste, haven't had the opportunity to sort of like come into the mainstream because the mainstream has been dominated by a very handful of upper caste. तो दोस्त दर्द तो हर जगह है और इस सच्चाई को भी मान लेना होगा कि ये हमारे कास्ट बेस्ड सोसाइटी जो है हिंदुस्तान की, उसका एक
The two sides of the same coin, in fact.
You'll have to accept the let's say the reality of this society. Having understood the reality of the society, now what can we really do? My film tries to understand the situation, understand this pain, and my film also tries to analyze the situation of education this country is heading towards. Like, every child in today in Indian house, no matter what caste or class he belongs to, is hell worried. How is he going to get a proper education? How is he going to get a proper future?
Sure.
And it has become so expensive.
Yeah, it's very, yeah.
It has completely gone beyond the reach of even the middle class. जो गरीब हैं, जो पिछड़े हैं, उनका तो आप सवाल ही नहीं करो उनका. आरक्षण created paucity of opportunity for the upper caste, which created more competition, which gave birth to coaching and capitation. So ironically, Aarakshan has helped the creation of commercialization of education.
Yeah, because if the seats are lessened, then the ones who are coming on
will have to be explored.
Yeah, right.
Now today, for getting a medical seat, an engineering seat, if you are not kind of like in the government aided colleges, If you can't get a place there, you have to buy it. And the capitation fee is huge. To prepare yourself for the competition, you have to pay huge money to get coaching. तो क्या करेंगे जिनके पास पैसा नहीं है? आप किसी जात के रहो, छोटी जात के रहो, बड़ी जात के रहो, ओबीसी के रहो, एससी के रहो, एसटी के रहो, ब्राह्मण के रहो, कहीं के रहो, पैसा चाहिए. तो दो ही जात हिंदुस्तान में आज है, एक पैसे वालों की जात है और एक जिनके पास पैसा नहीं उनकी जात है.
What exactly you're having Mr. Bachchan in the film, who's trying to who feels that that merit should be the only criterion, and apart from that, at the other end you have Saif Ali Khan, who's playing a Dalit, and he feels that the reservation is his right. That's primarily, I think, you're having two paradigms. So are you objectively trying to assess both of them? Are you looking at it objectively, or I was seeing your poster. If you see the poster, you have given many facts and figures of how in favor of in a way say reservation and maybe against it as well. So is it an objective point of view that you're trying to have?
I'm taking a humanitarian point of view.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand the pain, and that's what is required. Like, my film will probably advocate that we should eradicate commercialization of education from our society. कि जब तक ये शिक्षा का व्यवसायीकरण रहेगा, no amount of reservation, no amount of help, no amount of educational reform is going to help. If you have to pay 50 lakhs rupees, 60 lakhs rupees for getting a medical seat, what do you say to that?
So one question that comes to my mind, I'll ask you very clearly. In fact, you've dabbled in politics as well. You've contested Lok Sabha elections for 2 times.
I would like to intervene a little. I have contested Lok Sabha elections purely because I wanted the job of a member of parliament. I have never been politically associated with any political party. I have never endorsed any political ideology.
First one, you were independent. Second one was Lok Janshakti Party.
I took a ticket to facilitate my election process. I took a ticket from Ramvilas Paswanji's party, but I was never associated with his party or never on his party's political platform or endorsing his ideology.
Fair enough. My question to you is that considering that you have your political affiliations for noble purposes, for sure, I think you've done a lot of social work as well. I think you're having a charity organization called Anubhuti, I believe.
Yeah.
And you've done a lot of work for Kosi relief as well. Now the question is that when you're making a film like Aarakshan, you're from Bihar primarily. Are you trying to play to the gallery as well, people back home?
That's not the idea. The idea is to make a film which is, because I work with the society, because I'm constantly monitoring, understanding, enjoying and studying the movement of the society. Sure. Whether it was feudal society in Damul, whether it was post-Mandal, post-economic reform society in Mrityudand, or whether it was settling of the Mandalization of society in Gangajal. So I'm constantly, I'm looking for changes which they happen, and if and at all, like, during the course of my understanding, if equations become clearer to me, then I share it in the form of a story with my audience. Playing to the gallery in Bihar or playing to the gallery in Madhya Pradesh or playing to the gallery in Uttar Pradesh is, of course, what we are doing all the time as filmmakers, as professionals, as performers.
Becoming their voice in a way as well.
Giving them a story which they are living and breathing all the time, but perhaps they are not being able to see.
There was a news report yesterday I was reading that you're not really happy with the fact that Mr. Bachchan's Buddha Hoga Tera Baap is releasing on July 1st, which is totally, his character is diametrically opposite to what he's playing in your film.
That's a misconception. It's not the question of being happy or unhappy. An actor is an actor. An actor will be offered different kinds of roles, and Mr. Bachchan has the versatility.
But you've said that you won't be promoting the film till the time Buddha Hoga Tera Baap releases.
I think this is a misconception. Between me and Mr. Bachchan, we have decided that as long as the promotion of Buddha Hoga Tera Baap goes on, I will not be using him. I will not be disturbing him. I'll start working with him as far as the promotion is concerned only after the 4th or 5th of July, after his film is released.
And you've said that during the promotions of Buddha Hoga Tera Baap, you have requested him not to talk about Aarakshan at all?
Not at all.
Because that was there in the news report as well.
No. That was all kind of like, people. He's been writing in his blog, if you see, he's been tweeting about Aarakshan. So there is nothing that stops him or me from promoting. Both the films are his films, and I respect his caliber to be able to, pull off both the films.
सारा समाज एक ऐतिहासिक उथल-पुथल से जूझ रहा है और आप बस सोच रहे हैं अनुशासन। इस तरह बात नहीं करेंगे आप मुझसे।
We've seen Saif Ali Khan in Omkara. He pulled out just a fantastic performance, a rustic character.
मैं झूठा तो कुत्ते का जाना और सच्चा तो तेरी माँ का कसम पे.
Basically coming from his lineage, the way it is, his upbringing, the way it has been. He's known to be a polished guy, a funky kind of guy. But once again, in Aarakshan, I think after Omkara, this is the first time that he's playing a guy from the hinterland. And apparently, you ensure that he take diction classes as well in Hindi. Him and Pratik.
Saif or Pratik, they're both Hindi speaking, Hindi understanding people. They didn't need any diction classes. My method of working with the actors is that I start working with them much before the shooting begins. So we have several sessions to try and understand the characters, which I had with Saif and Pratik both separately, for him to be able to understand what reservation is all about, what the caste-based society is all about. So he was quite well prepared by the time he came to the set. As far as the dialogues are concerned, we work much in advance. We'd given the dialogue days before he was to shoot, and he was ready. He was always ready with his dialogues. And if there was any kind of like texture of delivery, as you would say, not really, problem in delivering, but if the way we would talked it out and we worked it out.
I think you have this liking for actually shooting on locations. We saw it in Rajniti as well, and you're doing the same.
Ever since Mrityudand.
Right.
Always on location.
And Aarakshan as well, it was shot in Bhopal as well. Now, one more thing which is, I think, very eminent in your films is the sense of drama and the way you use the dialogues. I think Ganga Jal, I'm a big fan of Ganga Jal. Each time I interview Ajay Devgan, I keep on telling him that one of your finest works, Aparan as well.
दरिंदे हैं ये, इनको बताइए आप. खान, मैं इनको नहीं, समाज को दरिंदा होने से बचा रहा हूँ. आंखें फोड़कर तेजाब से जला देने का नियम नहीं है हमारे समाज में.
And same with Rajniti as well, the sense of drama and the dialogues basically which is coming from the ज़मीन की खुशबू जिसके अंदर आती है. आजकल English का usage बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया है. तो जो ज़मीनी जो चीज़ें हैं वो I think people are going away from it. This is a conscious decision on your part to just ensure that the dialogues.
It is natural to me. I belong to that ज़मीन, and I have continue to remain connected with their Jameen. Like there is not a single day when somebody from my village doesn't call me up and I don't have a chat with him. So that's one thing. And every month I travel to Bihar and I am constantly aware as to what is happening, in the society in Betia or Motihari or Muzaffarpur or Patna. So मैं तो वहीं से आता हूँ तो वहीं की बात लिखूंगा ना.
नहीं, वहीं की बात I think बहुत से लोग लिखते होंगे, लेकिन एक जो लिखने का अंदाज भी I think. The set of writers that you have and all those things.
I'm fortunate that the way I write, works. I'm really fortunate, but I have to keep working on it time and again. Like each of those dialogues that you eventually hear, they have been written at least 8, 9, 10 times.
Definitely.
So that's how they get polished.
Definitely, Rajniti. I think you had some really powerful dialogues as well. Aarakshan as well. I think the dialogues are looking very impressive and they'll be spoken about. Rajniti, one of the biggest, I think, hits of all times. Your biggest commercial success, for sure. But still, there is a perception that, in spite of the fact that it had a huge star cast and all those things, but maybe it's not your best work.
Who am I to say?
अभी हमारे हाथों की मेहंदी का रंग भी नहीं उतरा था और हमारा सुहाग बेरहमी से उजाड़ दिया और आप सब अभी भी चुप हैं.
It had a lot of filmy elements and maybe एक जो गंगा जल में या जो अपहरण में एक certain sticking to the context that we had.
You progress, you try, new ways. Eventually, you want to make a film where what you would like to say is communicated. The way they would like to enjoy is also, packaged. So each time you try slightly different, and I and you may say anything, but the audience said something separately. Differently. It worked as far as the audience is concerned. It worked as far as I am concerned.
When it comes to Rajniti, all sorts of things happened over there as well. And Ajay Devgan, he still hasn't seen the film. Rajniti, some of the best works with you. Does it bother you that whatever rumors that just arose at that point of time that maybe Ranbir Kapoor was promoted more than Ajay, and he still hasn't seen the movie apparently. He has said that in interviews. At least in our interview as well, he has said that.
अरे चाचा, आप जैसों का टाइम गया. पावर पैदा करें हम लोग और बटन दे दें उन लोगों के हाथ में. आज से आजाद नगर में विदेशी कैंडिडेट का एंट्री बंद।
Ajay seldom sees the films that he has done. I mean, he hasn't probably seen Aparan or he hasn't probably seen Ganga Jal as well.
I'm sure he must have. Ganga Jal was I think it's one of his finest works. Same with Aparan as well.
Once he finishes his work, and as far as Ajay is concerned, we have a different relationship. I don't think that working in a film or not working in a film really matters.
Because I think earlier he was supposed to be there in Aarakshan as well.
No, not really. We both he does several films, and I also have to keep on doing films. And when I started casting for Aarakshan, he was already busy with projects, and the time also didn't suit. But apart from that work, Saif has been talking to me for a long time, that we should work together. And I felt against, common judgment that how will Saif play a Dalit. Somehow or the other, I felt that he has the conviction.
हमें मेहनत का पाठ पढ़ा रहे हैं आप। आपके खेत जोते हमने, आपके फसलें काटी हमने, आपके मवेशी चराए हमने, आपके जूते सिए, पैल हाके, नाव चलाए, आपके घरों की गंदी नालियों की सफाई की, यहाँ तक कि आपकी टट्टी भी सर पर ढोई हमने। हमें मेहनत सिखाएंगे आप।
And his face has a kind of a simplicity and strength which will carry off the character.
No, I think he's a fantastic actor. There's no doubt about that at all. The supporting cast in I think all your films, they have been your hallmark as well. We saw it in Rajniti, the way you pulled out I think a special performance from Arjun Rampal.
अरे भले ही हमें हमारे पार्टी से निकाल दे, हमारी जनता के दिल से कैसे निकालेंगे?
The entire character actors as well, they pull in I think the punch as well. So what do we see in Aarakshan as far as that thing is concerned?
Well, each time it should be better.
Any names that you would like to say? Any performances? Especially?
All the performances, whether it is Chetan Pandit or whether it is Saurabh Shukla or whether it is Yashpal who is there in this again. Right. Yashpal Sharma is there. Vinay Apte is again there in this film as well. And of course Prateek and Manoj.
Yeah, Manoj Vajpayee is looking very impressive. Rajniti, like that Karara Jawab Milega and that dialogue and
करारा जवाब मिलेगा, करारा जवाब मिलेगा.
Even here, when he's saying all those things that, especially I think confronting Mr. Bachchan, looks very impressive.
7 दिनों के भीतर आप बताएं कि आपको सस्पेंड क्यों ना किया जाए. 7 दिन के भीतर जवाब चाहिए मुझे.
जवाब तो आपको पक्का मिलेगा, डॉक्टर प्रभाकर आनंद सर.